You know, I was one of those guys that's like, she don't know about her and she don't know about her. And
so you're feeling the adrenaline. Did it feel exciting?
Absolutely. I was a player. What turned you on in the bedroom?
A loyal man.
What's your specialty?
Probably like a footie.
What is a footie, Bree?
I guess you'll have to find out.
Because there are successful relationships that start off of a one-night stand too, though, right?
Love at first sight, it does exist.
Really?
How do you feel about a pastor asking about your virginity the first day you go to church?
It sounds like to me the pastor trying to lay some hands. To be single out there knowing that they already know you, is that an issue in the dating scene?
It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Yeah, I mean, I text a guy for at least a month before I even FaceTime.
Month of just texting?
Yeah.
That's how it starts?
Yeah, it's gonna take you forever to find a man.
Get ready, you ready, because I'm ready for it. Can a night, it's a night.
Welcome to Nick Cannon at Night, where we discuss love, sex, and relationships with the experts and, of course, my personal friends. And to the right of me is an expert in the field of entertainment and comedy with billions of views online, hundreds of millions of followers, the one and only Hannah Stocking.
Thank you, Nick.
And our doctor, of course, is a sex therapist, an expert in multiple fields, and is a New York Times best-selling author several times over. The one and only Dr. Mike Dow.
Dr. Mike.
You know our vibes. We always talking about relationships and where we need assistance and help. So we gonna get right to it with one of our at-nighters to break the ice. Go ahead, talk to him.
For a question that I wanted to ask is, how do you feel about a pastor asking about your virginity the first day you go to church? This is something I dealt with in the last year, and it's been on my heart for a very long time. I was never apologized to, and I would love your opinion on who you think, like, are we supposed to relay that information? Do you tell someone that? Do you tell your partners that? Like, what? I want to know, like, what's that mean? And, like, how, like, do you share that with your wives? Do you, like, these like conversations? Like, what do you do in this circumstance? And is it appropriate? Is it not appropriate? Thank you so much for your time.
All right, Melissa, that's a good question. I don't have wives, but I see what you're doing there. But it sounds like to me the pastor trying to lay some hands. He trying to, when you ask too many, like, personal questions, especially if this is her first date at your church. I don't know if the intentions are correct. And as I'm a PK. I grew up in the church. And just like here, there's good people in the church, and there's also some people with not the best intentions. So you gotta always have your guard up, no matter where you are. That's just, you know, my opinion. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, for sure.
Just because they call themselves a pastor don't mean they ain't trying to get your ass stuck.
And clearly the way she was asking the question, you know, she said, this has been on my heart. She's clearly very traumatized by that. I mean, I've attended different churches in my life, and I've never had a pastor ask about my virginity. And then she was also asking, the second part of her question was, do you talk or do you tell that to a partner? And I don't think that's necessarily first date conversation. You know, I think in this day and age, sometimes people are speeding things up too fast. And you really have to use your gut to say, when is it appropriate to talk about that? That's like date 2 or 3.
And I also, coming from a kid that grew up in the church, I sense also that she was dealing with a little bit of the judgment in that question, because like if you notice, the question was asking about her virginity.
Right.
Which, I mean, as an adult, that doesn't matter to me. That used to matter to me when I was 16.
Yeah.
But like as a grown man, I don't care what age you lost your virginity or if you still got it or any of that type of stuff. So I feel like, but in places like certain churches where they want you to wait until marriage, until you're sexually active, or they value things like virginity, I just feel like that mindset is a little outdated.
Yeah, like I'm not asking anybody.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah. That doesn't cross my mind.
Right.
But I'm also such an open person that if anybody was to ask me, I'd be like, no, and this is the age that I lost it. And I'd like wouldn't even think twice.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think for her, wait, did she say she got an apology?
She said she
No.
still hasn't
Oh,
gotten
she
an
still
apology.
hasn't? Maybe he thinks that's normal to do.
But that's what I'm saying.
crazy.
In those environments, you like sometimes people of clergy or preachers, pastors, ministers, priests, they feel like they have this sense of authority that they can come and say, well, this is right and this is wrong, and that they can ask you these questions. And I think instead of bringing people to the church, that's probably turning people away.
100%.
Yeah, totally.
100%.
Yeah.
And that, and it's even interesting too because we've spoken about who you are and your lifestyle, but even to know that you're a man of faith and still go to church. Do you ever feel like there's judgment based off of you having a husband and all of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so nice that there are so many denominations and faiths, right? And I always think sometimes, there's so many faiths around the world, and even just within Christianity, like there's so many different branches, and it's like, we're gonna get to heaven and God's gonna be like, oh, you got it right. Like, oh, but only this guy, this one, this,
I don't
this
think that's
one,
gonna happen.
right?
Right.
So I think it's also about knowing that you have a choice of what kind of church you go to. I would not go to a very conservative, evangelical, anti-gay church. Like I
Right.
would just, which is a shame because sometimes, there's some of the music, the Christian music that I really respond to and
Yeah.
I find really heart-opening. But I also think you have to, it sounds like that is not a good fit for her.
Yeah, she should just switch churches.
Come to my church. We got black music. We turn up. We got fish fries afterwards.
Oh, I want to go. That sounds fun.
We don't judge at my church. Speaking of, though, hopefully that was helpful to Melissa, but we got another at-nighter with another question.
My name is Queen Victoria, and I live in Sherman Oaks, California. My question is, should I stay celibate when I meet the guy that I really, really like and I think he might be my husband, or should I just give it up on the first date? I'm single. I am tired of being single. I need a husband. I'm 49 years old, going on, what?
I love her.
I love her so much.
Love her.
The furry boots.
I got a question. Where you get them boots and that coat? Queen Victoria, need to put a leash on them boots, girl. I almost feel like we got a theme going on because our first at-nighter was asking about, church and virginity and feeling judged, and now she sounds like she's been celibate and holding on, and she ready to give it up. That coat was like, "Arr!" She was like, she was out there. So, in my opinion, hey, let your freak flag fly. Like it's time to you got to be as wild as them boots, girl.
Yeah.
Wait, but hold on. I have a lot of guy friends, and I ask them, what do they feel after they hook up with a girl immediately instead of her waiting?
First nighters.
Yeah, or maybe first weekers.
Okay.
And they say that if they don't have feelings, that they get the ick after. Like they're not as attracted to them, right?
It's sort of that classic thing you hear in movies, like, oh, this is the woman I'm gonna take home to mom versus the woman who I'm just gonna have a one-night stand with. I think for her, this is, black or white thinking tends to get us in a lot of trouble. Black or white thinking is associated with depression, anxiety, and when people sort of have these very black or white ways, it sounds like, she was having sex and now she maybe wants to be celibate. I think there's probably a gray area road for her to go down, not too fast, not too soon, gotta find the Goldilocks just right, and that's gonna help her to move forward in a healthy way.
There are successful relationships that start off of a one-night stand too, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Sometimes you have that chemistry.
Get it in.
Some of the
Just to make
research,
that chemistry.
love at first sight, it does exist.
Really?
There's research, and there are some long-term couples who say both of them knew from the very first time that they met and they were together for 20 years. There's research that does confirm that. That doesn't happen for everybody. So I think you just have to go with your gut.
Go with your gut.
Or your boots in this situation. Those furry boots.
Nah, those boots was off the chain. So, Hannah, not to get in all of your business, but being the fact that, you're so extremely successful in the space to where, now you're famous, everyone knows you, and as we know, the people in the digital space nowadays, they get into the bag. So, it has to be a little bit difficult for you, especially when you shared before that, you're a relationship girl. So to be single out there knowing that there's pressure, there's all these guys that they already know you and know what you got before you ever meet them. Is that an issue for you in the dating scene?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. It's treacherous terrain. You never know what you're gonna get with these guys.
And you make your skits about it, so I feel like you have a great sense of humor about it. But I mean, that has to be like, are you more apprehensive
Totally.
to even like go out on a date because like this dude might want me for my money, he might want me because he want to be in one of my comedy skits, he wants to be famous too,
or just move in.
or even to your point, yeah, exactly. But or even that thing like you are probably. And I hate to say this, I'm trying to figure out a way not to be as crass, but like, guys like, oh, that could be a notch on my belt to be like, hey, I was with Hannah and all of those things.
And
like,
that ruminates with me too. And like, that eats me alive. And I think that's why like I have very few sexual partners ever in my life. And I've never had a one night stand.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Girl, you missing out.
I know, maybe I should, but yeah.
I'm gonna hook you up with the girl with the boots and y'all go out.
We'll go out. I mean, I text a guy for at least a month before I even FaceTime, and then I need to FaceTime a lot, and then if
A month of just texting?
Yeah.
That's how it starit's?
Well, I'll throw in a couple FaceTimes, actually. And then,
it's gonna take you forever to find a man. If it's a couple of months of texting before you even FaceTime?
I know. Yeah, but, well, typically, whenever I break up with the guy, that I already kind of had
you already got something
before.
Ladies, that's what y'all do. You don't break up until you know who the next one is. Y'all ain't shit.
I'm very loyal. I'm loyal. But I also go on dates with guys for, like, at least 3 months.
I think
before,
your walls,
putting out.
Wow.
Your walls work for you, because sometimes defense mechanisms and walls, they're pathological, they prevent us from finding love, but it sounds like the more we're talking to you, the more it sounds like they're actually protecting you from getting hurt, from getting burned. Sounds like there are a lot of guys who've, just like moved in without being invited. So, maybe that wall is protecting you. Sounds adaptive.
Especially being a single woman out here in Hollywood and stuff like that has to be.
Yeah,
you gotta
it's
protect
crazy stories for sure, but yeah, I'm not gonna put out with any guy that I know. We're gonna lock it in and have a solid relationship.
And as it is, are you looking for that locked-in, solid relationship to go the long way? Like, is the next guy the one?
I mean, I hope so. I say that about every single guy, but also this is like a very unique situation that I have right now. I mentioned before, like I'm kind of cut off everybody, even the potentials that I already had lined up. Just let that FaceTime go right through. And I just keep collecting more pets and cats. And I don't know what's happening to me, and I'm just so turned off. And maybe this is just a big cleanse that I need, and to rewire my idea of love, because clearly something wasn't working, or the partners that I was choosing wasn't working.
Yeah, good for you.
And hopefully it works out down the line.
We think it's gonna work out for her, right? And if not, you got all your cats and stuff.
Yeah, I got all the cats still.
All right, well, this is the opportunity, too, where we get to hear from you directly. And I think we have a written question from online. So let's see who it is and what they got to say. Cheryl Boone Givens. Why is everything in Hollywood, including success, seemingly tied to butt sex?
What?
What question is that?
What does that mean?
I think I can help her with what she's attempting to ask, because there are these preconceived notions and conspiracies, and often like people from the outside in, they feel like, I'm pretty sure you've heard of things like the Velvet Mafia, and
wait, what is that?
Because people used to be really homophobic back in the day, and they would think to obtain any type of success, specifically in Hollywood or in multiple industries, that you had to be a participant in homosexual activity. That happens a lot, specifically that mentality in the Black community, where, you see men, wearing dresses in their entertainment, so they'll be like, oh, Hollywood done got them. But even in that sense, like, there's this preconceived notion that, and the only way you can be successful in Hollywood, you have to be gay. And as a gay man, I mean, that probably is probably a little offensive when you hear that. But there are time and time again where people live these secret and closeted lifestyles because throughout history, there have been some very prominent and very successful actors, entertainers, music artists that were closeted and we didn't find out till way later. So therefore, that's where that conspiracy
I understand.
comes
That
from.
does make sense, you know, and there are the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, you know, there are some bad apples, straight bad apples, bad gay apples, so to speak, in Hollywood.
That's the name of this podcast, Bad Gay Apples. That's going to be the title.
It's interesting, you know, and what we also know about anal sex in general, you know, I think there are a lot of women in Hollywood, men in Hollywood who are talking about it. Have you guys heard, oh God, what's that comedian who hosted the Golden Globes?
Nikki
Glazer. Have you ever heard her anal sex bit? And you know,
Nikki just wild.
And you know, what's interesting about anal sex is that 10 or 20 years ago, like about a third of Americans had tried anal sex, and now it's probably over 50%. So this is not something that only gay men do.
I've never tried it. I'm cool. Like, I feel like there's a perfectly good vagina hole right there, and it works. So I'm trying to put the brisket in the biscuit. So I was like, I'm good. But to each his own. But I just don't think it should be connected to success or these conspiracies because there's people who have the lifestyles who that's their entire lifestyle. So I don't think you should have to downplay what someone else does as if it's a bad thing or it's the prerequisite to maintain something else. I think we're far too grown and we've evolved so much that we should remove that, you have to, and the only way that you can become successful is that you have to compromise your integrity for that.
Yeah.
Well, that's really well said.
I try.
Yeah.
I try. Thanks, Hannah.
And here you are, you know, as successful as you are, and you didn't have to sleep with a man to get here, you know, and I think the more we can actually do a couple of things, you should never have to sleep with somebody to be successful in any field. You know? And I think we're really starting to understand that, and especially preying on people who are young, and even if they're of age, even if they're 18, you know, power dynamics that are, because I didn't know myself at 18. Did you?
No.
18?
Nah. I thought I did.
So I think a lot is changing when we look at those power dynamics and just being judged for who you are, not what you can do in the bedroom or sexual favors.
And I think it's too because, especially with social media, man, everybody is in everybody's business. So it's like, I don't care what you do with your dick in the dark. Like, it's like that's none of my business. Like, if I'm a fan of this actor, if I'm a fan of this athlete, if I'm a fan of this artist, I want to appreciate what they're offering. I don't really care about their personal lives. Now, that could be, you know, from my perspective because everybody's always in my business, but I don't have enough time to be worried about what someone else is doing other than just appreciating what they do in their profession or their art that they're presenting. That's just me. I don't give a damn what y'all doing.
I think as public people, people are probably very interested in your sex life too, right?
Yeah.
Because so much of your life is, you know, social media is so immediate. I mean,
and she be making skits about it and all that type of stuff. So people are like, I wonder.
Well, more like relationships. Not sex.
Yeah, not sex.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are interested in my sex life, and honestly, I don't like drama, but I like kind of dilly dabbling in other people's
playing
sex
with the
lives.
thought.
Like, what do they like in the bedroom, or
Really?
do they like getting pegged on all fours or something? Like, I like knowing that.
You
but
like
I'm not
thinking about
digging
that?
for it.
Right. Oh, so like if there's a celebrity, you will be like, yo, I wonder
If
he
there's
like
an article, I'm swiping up and I'm reading
to
it.
see if he's getting pegged on all fours.
Well, that's just an example, but
Just the one that popped in your head. I love it. Well, see, like you said, I'm one of those people that I could care less, but there is clearly
I
people love
it.
Hollywood gossip. They love knowing about people's sex lives. I think. But do you feel like because of social media, it's a lot more of that nowadays?
I mean, maybe, but I also think that a lot of celebrities are destigmatizing sex. You know, I remember reading an article that Khloe Kardashian was talking about anal sex, and it was sort of like, oh, cool, I'm open to that. You know, Pamela Anderson's like, oh, I really like anal sex. So I think the fact that we are moving away from, oh, this is bad, or I can't talk about this in public. I think sometimes celebrities can also move the needle to make things more accepted. We see that in a lot of conditions, in terms of being public with a diagnosis, and then there's awareness around a certain disease. Maybe they're destigmatizing certain sex acts or open relationships, and they're just being able to talk about these things, because man, when you don't talk about things, you're as sick as your secrets.
Ooh,
and then
it's a bar. You're sick as your
so
secret.
many things get dark and heavy in your life, and then you have to medicate the darkness, and then we see a lot of addiction in celebrities, and how much of that used to be, going back to the days of Rock Hudson, or all of the secrets you had to keep, and you had to be a straight man to be successful in Hollywood, and that was very true. And we're now seeing that there are more opportunities for queer people. Here I am with you, the straight black man, and a gay shrink here, sitting here.
And we're
Asian
That's
shrink.
the bun.
And we get along so well. Who would have thought that?
Totally.
So I'm glad that we're just,
Peas
thank
in
you
a
for having
pod.
these conversations, because it's destigmatizing a lot of these things.
Absolutely, man. That's gonna sit with me for a while. You're as sick as your secrets.
Yep.
That's a bar. And speaking of secrets, this is that time of the show where we give an opportunity to someone who doesn't necessarily want to show their face, but does want to reveal a secret. Let's see what they have to say.
Hey at night. So I need some help. I've had a sneaky link with my work colleague for 2 years and it's been amazing, but I think my partner is starting to pick up on it. Should I end it with my sneaky link or end it with my partner? Please help me. I don't know what to do.
Ooh.
Oh, juicy. I love
First
this.
of all, where do you work? 'Cause, I mean, if you
That's
tap
tricky.
in somebody at work, but you're in a relationship, and now it's gotten to a point where you really have feelings for the person, your sneaky link, as they put it, but
And then you're gonna continue to have to lie to your partner.
it sounds like because she said, should I leave the other person? Like she's ready to end the
Yeah.
relationship and go off with the sneaky link.
Yeah.
I think maybe the answer is C, none of the above. I could tell
Yeah, that's good.
the way that person was asking the question, in my job, so much is not about what people say, it's the way they say it. It's like the nonverbal. It's like that person doesn't sound like they actually want to be in a relationship. This is a person who just is wanting to have some fun, so maybe they shouldn't be in a relationship at all.
With either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they leave their partner for the sneaky link, man, that's also complicated, right? Because have you ever, then in the back of your mind, you're like, well, what if they do that to me, right?
Totally.
And even that idea of the grass not being greener. Once you get your ass over there on that other grass, you're gonna start missing your dusty grass.
And how much of that attraction was just the fact that it was a secret, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of times, dopamine is the main neurotransmitter of attraction initially, but a lot of times adrenaline, that stress hormone that's associated more with danger and doing something you're not supposed to do, human brains will confuse adrenaline with dopamine. So it's like, oh, I'm really in love with this person. That's just the adrenaline. You just like that person more because it's dangerous and you're not supposed to be doing it. So then it's like you break up with your partner and then you're with this person from work and it's not exciting anymore. And guess what? You're probably not going to be interested.
Wow.
Bars.
So the forbidden love stuff, like the stuff that's in romantic novels, that type of stuff, we're drawn to that, and it's not really love. It's more about the adrenaline of, ooh, I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be
Yeah,
doing.
that unrequited love, the dangerous love. Even
That's why they call it a
Romeo and
sneaky link.
Romeo and Juliet. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you
Oh my
can't date
God.
somebody from that family, and then it's a secret. It sort of
Yeah.
It's
drives.
exciting. Yeah.
Because they're chemical cousins, adrenaline and dopamine. They're both uppers, right?
Yeah.
And we sometimes, our subjective experience of that is like, that feels really good. I must be in love. Well, don't confuse lust with love, right? Because lust sometimes has a lot of danger associated with it. But if you're gonna be with that person for the next 5, 10, 50 years, that adrenaline is eventually gonna go away, and then you're stuck with the person that you're with.
And it feels like the sneaky link thing, again, with this generation, like, it's super common. Like, so have y'all experienced
Yeah.
sneaky links? Yeah. Don't lie now, you're on TV. But it's almost like a thing where, especially for guys is like, oh yeah, I got my main situation and then I got my little woo-wop on the side, my little woo-wop on the side. And that, they give you two different things. There's the stability and the comfort of an actual relationship, and there's the excitement of being sneaky.
As long as your partner's okay with that, you know, honesty.
Of course they not okay with that, Doc.
I think eventually
Nobody likes a little woo-wop.
But those, you can't sustain that for the rest of your life, right? Like,
Shit.
there's not a person who sustains that. Some of these stories of people who have but all of the women who are the mothers to your children, they all know that each other.
Oh yeah, now I'm
exists.
evolved. I go to therapy. I tell the truth.
Yeah.
But that was part of it. And like, you know, I was one of those guys that's like, I had fun kind of balancing so many, and she don't know about her, and she don't know about her. And
So you're feeling the adrenaline. Did it feel exciting?
absolutely. I was a player.
Right.
Like that was the whole thing. That's where like, I could see how many people I could manipulate at one time. And then you find out when you become a grown-ass man that that's exhausting.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's unsustainable. So you changed. And then when you
I'm
changed...
changing.
You're changing.
Well, maybe none of them, not all of them, grow out of it, because my dad was able to do both at the same time and have his little woo-wops.
How long?
Maybe a lot on the side. And I think he got away with it for, I think, their whole marriage, like 30 years, 35 years. And then he fled to Mexico with an 18-year-old.
Okay. I want
Your
to.
stories.
Can you please?
Wow.
I just want to get personal for a second. Forgive me, but it's really only for like our research purposes.
Yeah.
As a daughter of a man like that, how does that make you, or how did it make you feel? How did it affect you growing up? And then your perspective, like your take on your father. I mean, obviously you joke about it, but do you think any less of him because of his lifestyle?
Well, it was really jarring when it first happened because obviously growing up, there's signs and then you just overlook it.
Yeah.
And then when it all came tumbling down one day, we're like, whoa, everything makes sense. But it was also like, yay, they're not together anymore because it wasn't really compatible
Healthy. Yeah,
anyways. But and yeah, it was a really tricky dynamic to like be okay with.
Yeah.
And then I actually did ketamine therapy.
Oh,
But he
that's what I do all
specializes
day
in-
long with patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did like a little microdose with my therapist, and then I just was able to see his inner child, and then I felt,
his wounds and how he feels
Totally.
not good enough, and that's probably why he needed all of these different women.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was just asking because as a father with multiple daughters, that keeps me up at night sometimes thinking about like, all right, I have no problem operating right now, but now I have little girls looking up to me. I got to make sure I'm doing all the right things to be the best father I can.
Oh, that's great.
I'm trying.
You're on a good path. 'Cause the last I heard from my father was from one of his mistresses, and then he was like, or she said, "Hey, have you seen John anywhere? Last I heard, he's wanted by the cartel."
Oh shit.
And then my sister said,
That's
"Oh,
a
no."
gangster.
I know. And then my sister said, "No, he's fine because we share the same Hulu account, and he's been binge watching handmaid's Tale, so he's okay."
I think
Thank you for sharing.
Well, and I'm going to take back, maybe there is something about and you're in therapy, in ketamine-assisted therapy, so maybe there is something about your wall, I'm sure, that is related to your father. It sounds like
Probably.
you've dealt with that or are dealing with that. It sounds like there's a big difference between your dad and the way that you
Big
parent.
difference, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
I'm trying.
Yes.
and it's all about the attention. You know, what I know about you, Nick, is you make time to spend with every single one of your children.
Absolutely.
So the fact that your children are going to grow up and say, oh, he's got, I've got 11 siblings and there are other moms and, the most important thing is, does that child of yours feel like they're getting your attention? Do they feel loved? Do they feel like you care about them? And I think the answer to that is yes.
Man, you made me feel better tonight, Doc. I appreciate it. And you're always so helpful, so that's why we want to open up the floor for this opportunity to ask some questions to the doc or to Hannah. Hannah's been dropping bars as well. Anybody want to say something? Questions?
I have a question, personal question. I just recently got out of a very long-term relationship, and I also tend to go from relationship to relationship. So my question is, what do you think is an appropriate amount of time to wait and be single before getting into the next serious thing?
That's a great
Good
question.
How long was your last relationship? 6 years. It's a long time.
Oh.
It's a long time.
6 years. That's a good question
You know,
because sometimes it matters.
There are people who have formulas where it's like, oh, you should wait 50% as long as that relationship was. I think the best barometer, I think at the very least, when it's under 30 days, that's a huge red flag for me when people say that. But I think the best barometer is, do you feel ready? Because I think the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we trying to medicate a feeling of loss or loneliness by going to the next partner? And could this also be an opportunity to learn, why are you always going from one relationship to the other? Do you think you're changing?
In what way? Like,
I don't know.
am I?
Are you growing?
Are you growing?
I honestly, I've been single for many months now.
Yeah.
Previously, I probably would have been in a new relationship already, so I feel like I'm growing in that aspect. But it's hard to be single sometimes. So.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because is the rebound a real thing? Because I feel like, especially, I don't want to speak for men or women, but you feel like you're healing quicker when you can jump into something else. So you don't want to experience that pain too long. So you're like, I'm going to go from this love to that love.
Yeah.
Even to prove to my last love that I'm over them.
Yeah, and we also have to acknowledge that when you are going through a breakup, and if you looked at a brain scan and you saw the types and the amount of brain activity in the brain structures that are associated with addiction, if you look at somebody detoxing from heroin and somebody who's getting out of a relationship, those brains look very similar. So breakups will light up the pain, addiction parts of our brain. So a lot of times, when you said, oh, the old me would have already been in another relationship, I think you're doing a really good job of moving through the pain and not trying to go around it. Because when you have a rebound relationship and you're just trying to avoid pain, your picker's off. You're just trying to find somebody who's going to make you feel better for the moment, but it's not going to be the kind of guy who is going to be the right partner for you long term. So good work.
Yeah, good work.
Good work. Awesome. So, as we know, we are all healing and open in here, but it ain't really like that in the streets, Doc.
Not at 3 a.m.
Yeah, matter of fact, let's check it out. Guilty pleasures at night. What turns you on in the bedroom?
Okay, kissing on my neck, that's a turn on right away.
Neck kissing.
Yeah. You gotta be into them as much as they're into you. If not, then
You kissing on both necks. Y'all naked.
a loyal man.
But what the hell, boy? That's your biggest turn
I'm
on?
serious. Yeah, you gotta be all about me.
All about
That's gonna turn me on more.
Oh.
My biggest cockiness, confidence. Somebody who knows who they are.
Yeah, you like an old arrogant narcissist.
No, not narcissist, because that pissed me off.
So what's your biggest turn on?
Turn on?
Yeah.
Intelligence.
Smart men. You're a sapiosexual is what they call that.
I'm basic.
I take you two as sapiosexuals. Is that true?
As a psych major, no idea what you just said.
You're a psych major and you don't know what a sapiosexual is? So let's take both of these words, psych major, sapio. Do you know what the root of that is?
Like a homo sapien?
A lover of the mind.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Like you fall in love with people's intellect.
Okay.
That's what turns you on. What's your specialty?
Oh my god. Probably like a footie.
A footie?
Yeah, you never had a footie?
What the hell is even that?
I've never had a footie. What is a footie, Bree?
I guess you'll have to find out.
I would like to see it.
What's your biggest turn on?
Integrity.
I ain't never heard no bullshit like that. Integrity? That ain't your biggest turn on?
Hey, yo, what the
Guilty pleasure would be like faking an orgasm so you can just end the night,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a guilty
You've
pleasure.
done this?
With everyone, right? Like you're just like, oh.
So then that clearly is not good sex.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What does that say?
yeah.
There's not many.
So you have to be like, so you just fake an orgasm to get them off you?
Yeah, it's like, okay, like we're good. Yeah.
What about when it comes to intimacy? You know what you want in that space too?
Yeah, I know what I want. Sure.
Really?
First of all, I want you to do it hard. First of all, we know we like it rough over here. We don't like it,
Really? Now what, like how rough? Like punch you in your face rough?
I mean, you can slap me if you know what I mean. You can do whatever you want to.
Really?
Yeah.
Jenny! Jenny! So clearly,
Oh my God.
it's wild outside, Doc.
Oh yeah, the last guy was having a good time, huh?
A lot of people like a lot of different stuff, and like that's the title of that one was Guilty Pleasures, but it sounds like people are into a whole bunch of different stuff, and we're even seeing that like it's being revealed. I don't know if it's because of social media. I don't know if it's because porn is so, accessible now, but it's just, I feel like people are freakier than they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, in my office, I've always known that, being a sex therapist. I hear people's secrets, but I think you're right that with social media, with more openness in our culture, people are coming out and saying, I'm into this, I'm into that. And the nice thing is, there is a lid to every pot.
You can't be mad at it, but again, this is all about education and entertainment, as we call it, edutainment together. So you guys feel like you learned something tonight?
All right.
I did.
I definitely did. And I always got to thank the one and only Dr. Mike Down for putting us up on that wisdom. And please keep entertaining us. The superstar, Hannah Stocking's in the building. And I feel like we shared a lot.
Oh, we did. I know.
I feel like you brought me closer. You're going to help me with my daughter. So this was a very helpful episode for me. So keep the questions coming. You know how we do. Slide to the DMs with your questions, your videos, and all of that good stuff. And we're going to holler at you next time. It's Nick Cannon at night.
All right. Your stories.
Crazy, right?
It's Nick at night.